United States of America, we like to call ourselves home of the free and the brave. Helpers and, of the weak, of the needy, of, champions of freedom. Our government and in turn our society by and large doesn't at all act like that. And that's a huge problem. We have the largest number per capita, and I think actually numerically as well, of people in prison. We also have the largest number in terms of for at least so-called crimes, okay? I say so-called because I don't consider it a real crime of the actual individual to have have not been able to pay your rent and therefore end up in jail because you've quote-unquote violated the contract. Therefore, in addition to losing your home, you land up in jail or prison. And that's happening in many states, in at least 3 or 4 states right now, to people on a regular basis. They can't afford their rent. It's considered a contract violation. They get put in jail. The drug war is widely known. Another thing that people get incarcerated for is when they can't pay fines. Which is to say, yes, people can actually be put into jail for if they couldn't pay a parking ticket. And I know, in terms of not being able to feed the meter, parking meter, or not being able to park in the correct place because there wasn't any spots. Now, again, I know some people might say, "Oh, well, they should have known better. They should have, that should have been they couldn't afford the fine. They shouldn't have done that." If in many cases these people either would have risked losing their jobs if they had stepped off the job to fill that parking meter, to walk far enough to get into that spot. In terms of people with like 3 or 4 jobs, 3 or 4 hours sleep, you really going to say that person belongs to jail? No, they don't. Sorry, nothing could convince me of that. Sometimes as well, it's been later found out that the quote-unquote parking meter that they're in jail, that these people are put in jail for, was in fact broken, and therefore they actually had time left. So people have actually gone to jail, had their kids removed from them, which is to say their parents, all over the fact that they got a ticket that they couldn't pay over a broken parking meter. That's how sick our society is right now. Then we also have the largest number of people that are in with psychiatric treatment centers, inpatient, as in locked wards, locked facilities. I'm not saying that there are not severely disturbed individuals, who really do need treatment and or supervision. I'm not claiming that those people do not exist. I am, however, definitely saying that it isn't helpful in any way, shape, or form to say to someone who, and to treat someone who just they fell on hard times financially, or they lost a loved one and they fell into a deep slump in terms of depression. Okay, or deep. They couldn't sleep. They're insomniac. Okay, and then to say to that person, okay, we're going to lock you away for your own safety, and then, we're going to put you there for your own safety, and then put that person that really did face some hard times into a locked away facility where they're now not really able to see their friends or family or any of their former community connections, and to keep them there for sometimes it's 20, 30, 40 years. And to say that you're helping them. Sorry, that's not helping them. To say to someone that they were just mumbling to themselves as they were walking around, and they might have been doing so loudly or something like that. Okay, you need some. Here, let's give you some pills to stop this, and and then again put them in a locked facility for 10, 20, 30, 40 years. That's what's happening, and that's what's happened in our country. Again, we champion freedom. We also, by the way, lock people up when they are homeless and on the street and refuse to go into a homeless shelter, which in many instances, and I experienced it, you're treated like a criminal there. I remember one struggle that I had to deal with was the fact that we had a quote-unquote curfew that we were allowed to break if we had a notice, but I got an argument over the fact that I didn't have a quote-unquote proper header on the letter about the fact that I was going to a meeting up at my college. They didn't have proper letterhead for this group newly forming. Again, the college doesn't have letterhead. So I was threatened over the fact that the college didn't have a letterhead, with being kicked out of the shelter if I faced in another meeting that and came back like, again, letterhead that didn't exist. I didn't give them. So, and again, freedom fighters, we're an arms dealer to at least half the globe. We're bombing, I think it's at least 20 countries at the moment. Or at least supplying military and or actually bombing them. And we're giving many groups that are killing other people money, in addition to munitions, throughout the world. And these are people that have, in terms of us bombing them, that they haven't hurt us in any way, shape, or form. So that's on top of poisoning our own citizenry through not truly controlling or curtailing pollution and polluters. Protectors of humanity, guardians, were one of the biggest purveyors of chemtrails, which is to say geoengineering toxins into the atmosphere. Excuse me? I know that there are many individual Americans that hold these values as their own, that they themselves are for freedom, for justice. but our government and the way the government has influenced our society, has locked people up, has killed and maimed millions of people. I love the beauty of this world. I love the beauty of most of the people in it. I mean, granted, there are some ugly souls out there, and that's unfortunately the ugly minority that's destroying a lot. But I've met wonderful people in all sorts of places. I consider myself a citizen of this world first and foremost, because of what I've just said. That unfortunately the United States is not at all living up to its claimed values in terms of our government, in no way, shape, or form. I wish it was, but it's not. And honest people have to admit that. Shalom.